our next topic, that is the Norton's theorem. In this Norton theorem, first we have to study the statement. This theorem states that the entire network connected to the terminal A and B can be replaced by a single current source, that is IN. Okay students, it is very much important. IN is the network, it is a Norton's current in parallel with a single resistance Rn. This Rn is nothing but it is a Norton's resistance. The value for the ion is equal to the short circuit current through the terminal AB. The value of the Rn is the resistance looking back from the open terminal, that is A and B. Okay, now you consider this one network. Suppose it is a network with a terminal A and B with a positive and negative value. The equivalent circuit, whatever you will be get obtained. Previously we have found out the VTH and RTH, but now in this Norton we are going to find out the current value, that is IN, and here it is always connected in the parallel, that is RN, with a and B. Okay, so it is the equivalent for the Nortons. Okay, here in the box we have to mark, and from that marking you should be able to know that it is a Norton's equivalent circuit. Okay students, this statement follows this particular diagram. Now we have to prove how we are going to find out the value for the IN, how we are going to find out the value for the RN. We have to prove by one particular circuit. So let us take one circuit. We draw the circuit like this. Suppose you have the voltage. This one is the voltage. Here one resistance is being get connected with the terminal A and B. The one resistance and a load resistance is being get connected to the terminal A and B, that is RL resistor. It is R2, it is R1 and it is B. Consider this circuit. Okay, by consideration of this circuit, you yourself will be able to understand that only the three resistance is there and one single voltage is there. Out of these three resistance, one is the load resistance. So what will be the first step? The first step, in a Thevenin's, we have disconnect the load resistance, but now in the Norton's we have to short circuit the load resistance. After short circuiting the load resistance, what will be the equivalent diagram? That diagram you have to draw. Okay, so first step, by short circuiting the terminal A and B. Short circuit terminal A and B. So how the circuit will look like? The single straight line, the resistance will be get replaced. Okay, the voltage source you have to draw, one resistance, in between also there is one resistance. Here it is R2 resistance, here it is R1 resistance, and the terminal A and B, one single straight line you have to draw. It means that it is a short circuited. Okay, so it is a short circuited. Here previously the load resistance was connected, and now as per the short circuit terminal A and B, we have short circuit terminal A and B, means the load resistance, it has been short circuited. Now what remains? Only the resistance R1 and R2 remains, and the voltage source has been remained. So very first aim for this one, in the Norton's theorem, we are going to find out the value for the IN. As it is short circuited, the current across this particular resistance will be 0, and only the resistance R1 will be get remain, and that's why the V is equal to I is equal to V upon R1. Okay, this much is the value which you will be getting obtained when the A and B terminal is being short circuited. The no current is going to be flow from this particular R2, only the resistance R1 will be get connected. Okay, and due to that one, the voltage, as we have the formula V is equal to I into R, the whole thing, it is depend on that particular value. So this V upon R1 will be the value for the Norton's current. Then what will be the second step? In a previously we have short circuited, in a Thevenin's theorem previously we have short circuited the voltage source. Okay, but now what we have to do, we have to make that particular voltage source as a shorted value. Okay, if we have shorted that particular value and open the load resistance terminal, means A and B should be get open and the voltage will be get short circuited. The second step number, short circuit voltage V and open the terminal A and B. Okay, as per the statement, we have short circuited the voltage source. Okay, what remains? Only one resistance, and this resistance is being remain here, and the terminal A and B is being open. Here the R1 resistance, here the R2 resistance is being obtained. So when you have that particular R1 and R2, only the R1 and R2 combination, means that resistance, if you have been observed from this particular side, R1 and R2 is in a parallel. So the equivalent, that is Rn, Norton's resistance, as it is in a parallel, you have R1 into R2 divided by R1 plus R2. So this one is the Norton's resistance you have found out by short circuiting the voltage source and open the terminal A and B. Okay, then at the end, the step number third, it is very much important. That step number third consists of this IN value and the RN value. Means it gives you the equivalent circuit for the Norton's theorem. Okay, so for finding the equivalent theorem, we will just here IN is equal to V upon R1. The third number step, equivalent circuit. In a Thevenin's, it was the voltage VTH and the RTH. Now here we have found out the in Norton's IN and RN. So IN, as it is current, the direction for that particular current, it is to be get considered just the clockwise anti-clockwise value like this, and the resistance Rn. Okay, and whatever the terminal A and B, previously we have taken out the resistance, that is a load resistance RL, we have to draw here, and here you will be getting the Norton's equivalent circuit. This is the Norton's circuit. Okay, from this particular Norton circuit, what we have to find out? We have to find out the line current. Okay, for that finding the line current, IL is equal to, what will be obtaining? Here the RN and RL is in parallel with a line current, that is a IN, that is a Norton current, that is a IN. So here IL is equal to IN, what remains? RN into RL. So Rn divided by Rn plus RL. So this is the formula which we will be getting at the end of the circuit. Then at the last, what remains? We have to find out the VL. So VL is equal to IL into RL. At the last, you will be getting this line voltage. Okay, so this proof, this formula, this formula, this formula, and this formula. The first number IN, second number RN, third number IL, and the fourth number VL. It is very much important. Okay, for solving the problem. We will take one problem. Consider the problem like this, with a value, voltage value V is equal to 20 volt, the resistance R1 is equal to 4 ohms, the next resistance value R2 is equal to 6 ohms, and the A terminal and the B terminal, the load resistance which is attached, that is RL, it is equal to 3 ohms. We have taken only the ohms value. Okay, we have taken the small value. We have not taken the kilo ohms or a mega ohms. Just for a simplification, for finding the value easily, it is very much important for me also. Okay. solution. So what was the first step? First you have to short circuit the load resistance. Okay, write down here step number 1, short circuit RL. Okay, short circuit the load resistance RL and we draw the circuit. Here the voltage source, that is V is equal to 20 volt you have to take. The resistance value R1 is equal to 4 ohms. Then R2 is equal to 6 ohms. Okay, then A terminal and the B terminal, the load resistance we have shorted with a one straight line. As per the first step, we have to find out the value for the iron. So what will be the value for the iron? Iron is equal to V divided by R1. The no current is going to be flow from this, therefore the R2 value will be 0 and only the R1 come into the existence. So V value, what is the V? It is 20 and R1 you have got the value 4. So you have got a 5 ampere Norton's current. Okay, 5 ampere Norton's current you have got. Okay, the second number step number second. What is the step number second? Previously we have short circuited the load resistance. Now we have to open the load resistance and the voltage source is present here. This voltage source we have to short circuit it. Okay students, so short circuit the voltage source and open the terminal A and B and redraw the circuit. So this voltage source is being get shorted, the resistance R1 value and the next resistance R2 value with a terminal A and B as a open circuited. Now this resistance R1 is having the value that is a 4 ohms, R2 is having the value that is a 6 ohms. Okay, both we have this one value. Now for observing from this one side, we have the Rn value. Okay, Norton's resistance. So what will be the Norton's resistance? The two resistors are in a parallel. So we will say that R1 into R2 divided by R1 plus R2 is equal to 4 into 6 divided by 4 plus 6. So 24 by 10. It is 2.4 ohms. Rn is equal to 2.4 ohms. Very simple. You have this 2.4 ohms. Now our third number step. What is the third number step? We have to find out the equivalent circuit. The third step number third. Okay, whatever we have disconnected, whatever we have short circuited, we have to attach. First, before that, you have the current position. You have that current position below because the 5 ampere current is going to be started from this one. So IN value is equal to 5 ampere. The RN value and the terminal A and B, which is being placed load resistance RL, the value for the RL is equal to 3 ohms. Okay, this R2 value you have 2.4 ohms. Now just you remember that particular formula. We have to find out the value that is IL, the load current. The load current in this circuit, according to this one, it is IN multiplied by what remains? Only the RN and RL remain. That RN and RL, just you write down RN plus RL is equal to. Now what is the value for the RN and IL? IL is equal to 5. I will write down here. Is equal to 5 multiplied by Rn value, it is 2.4. 2.4 divided by again 2.4 plus RL is equal to 3. So here after calculating we will get the value. This 5 and 2.4 plus this one, it is 3. So 5.4, 2.4 divided by this one, it will give you the value that is 2.22 volt. Okay students, so you have got IL is equal to 2.22 volt, you make it in a bracket. Okay, this is the value for the IL. Now at the last, VL is equal to IL into RL. What we have found out, IL is equal to 2.22 multiplied by the value for the RL, it is 3. So 6.66 volt, that is the line voltage is going to be flow from the circuit. Okay, and as soon as you have drawn this one, you have to mark this value as a Norton's network. Okay friends, so it is very much simple problem. If you are able to solve the much problem, it is very much simpler for you to understood. Okay students. Next topic, that is a maximum power transfer theorem. In this maximum power transfer theorem, we have to consider the source such as battery or a DC generator. Okay, the battery or the DC generator having an EMF E to an internal resistance, that is R, as shown in this particular dotted line. Suppose you have the circuit and that circuit is like this. One small resistance is there. In this small resistance, the internal resistance will be called, okay, this is the battery, this is the voltage source we are going to consider, and here again the one resistance, it is being get connected like this. Okay, so here the positive value and the negative value of the E terminal, that is a EMF source, that is a voltage. Here the small resistance, that is a load resistance RL, again with the positive and the negative terminal, and in above the resistance which is connected across the battery, that is an internal resistance, it is represented by the R, and the whole thing is being indicated with a dotted terminal like this. Okay, it is in a book, students. Okay, this dotted terminals gives you the difference, the variable of that particular resistance is connected across the terminal A and B of the source. Here the terminal A and the terminal B, the terminal A and the terminal B, and the direction of the current in this particular circuit, it is indicated with a current R. Okay, it gives you the direction of the current. Now from this particular value, from this particular circuit, the statement is going to be arise. The statement for the maximum power transfer theorem, it states that the power transferred from the source of the load is maximum when the resistance of the load is equal to the internal resistance. Okay, maximum to this particular load when the internal resistance of the source. This condition is called as a resistance matching. Means we are matching that particular resistance. After matching, this small r and the RL will be get affected. For that, you have I is equal to, as per the value for the I, means it is a current, you will get the value, that is E divided by, here this R and this RL, it is in a series, so you will be getting small r plus capital RL. This value will give you the current. Okay, then if the power transferred to the load, if the power is going to be transferred to that particular load, then you will be getting the P value. So the power transferred to the load, what will the power transfer to the load? The current will be get double. Okay, because the two values you have to consider, so you will be getting the I square into R. Okay, this one is the first consideration. Then if it is a maximum, if it is maximum when the load RL is equal to the internal resistance, that is R, when the load is maximum to the internal resistance R. This power we have drawn out, this power will be maximum, but when the power will be maximum when the RL is equal to small r. Okay, this RL is equal to the small r. Due to that, you may say that the resistance matching is nothing, it is a communication, and the electronic circuit which source usually has a high relatively resistance and whose it is desired to transfer the larger amount of the power from that particular source to the load. So it gives you the maximum power transfer theorem. Alternately, you may say that the large amount of the power is going to be get transferred from one to the another, from this part to this part. And since the maximum power transfer come into the existence. Okay, it is a very much short topic. The problems are not involved. Only the theoretical problem, only the theory, that is a statement. The diagram you have to keep in your mind, and this one simple formula you have to keep in your mind. But before keeping this formula, this thing, the power transfer to the load, it is I square R, and when it is I square R, when the power is maximum, means RL value is equal to the small resistance R, means the internal resistance of the particular event source. Okay, thank you.